Hey, what's up, everybody? So this episode's going to be a little different, as you notice. We're in a little bit of a different setting. I'm traveling at the moment, and I don't have all of my normal gear. Today, I took the kids to an amusement park, and so my DSLR battery is completely dead. And I was going to plan to use my backup, which is my GoPro Hero 5 on a gimbal, but that is dead as well. So I'm on my backup camera, which is the Hero 5 session. But something really cool today, which is a little bit different, is I'm actually trying something new here. I'm using a monitor, an iPad as a monitor, which is actually super cool. And it actually works really well because I can see the framing and everything while I'm using the session. Because, normally I use my Canon 80D, which has the flip out screen, so I can check my framing and everything as I shoot videos. Can't do that with the Hero 5 or the Hero 5 session, so having a monitor like this with my iPad is actually super cool. I love it. If you want to know how to do that, just comment down below and maybe I'll make a video about it if I get enough people interested. So anyway, so in this video, I wanted to share with you the interview that I did with Natalie Webster. Now, she's a really good friend of mine. She is the CEO of a company called Priority Experts, and we work really closely with them with a lot of our clients. And what's cool about them is that they're one of the first companies that I've dealt with that actually makes customer support profitable. It makes it a profit center. Now, not very many companies that I talk to are able to turn something as kind of mundane as customer support into something that actually makes money. Like in some instances, they were generating like $30,000 or more for their clients just by being able to do really great customer support, identify opportunities for sales inside of customer support tickets, as well as doing things like challenging refunds and doing failed invoice collecting and all that kind of stuff. So super cool. Have a look at the interview. This is kind of last minute. It's super late. I'm super tired, so it's not going to have as much polish and editing as maybe some of our other videos, but the content is fantastic. Highly recommend you listen to it all. And let me know what you think after you've listened to it. So welcome to the call, Natalie. First of all, thanks. A big congratulations for all the success you're having right now.
Thanks, I appreciate it and happy to be on.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit more about, how you see customer support differently than everybody else. Because I know a lot of people just look at CS as an expense, something they have to do and have to be able to provide for their clients, but not so much as something they want to do, or even better, be able to profit out of it. So let me know, how you see things.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I originally did see support that way, almost as a nuisance. But then one day I took on this position with our mutual client and I realized this is where all the sales are coming from. When they put me in charge of managing the sales department as well, I noticed at least 50% of our sales were coming directly from support. It wasn't people necessarily saying, hey, want to sign up, but it was me engaging with them, noticing that they were asking the right questions, and that just led into a natural progression of them buying the product. So I noticed that CS is not a nuisance. It's the best place to find your sales. Your best sales, your hottest leads are the people who are writing out to you and reaching out to you, asking you questions. So I noticed that right away. So we turned the support into, it's a profit center. It pays for itself. It should bring in more income than really anything. And then also I noticed that the support center was also where we found engagement. There's no better way to measure your engagement with your customers as far as the support center. They're writing and asking questions. Every time you send out a broadcast email, you have X amount of people writing back. That's how you know people are liking the content that you're sending them or not. And that's important as well. You want to know that people don't like something you're doing so you can correct it. And that was the biggest thing in support, is we found this should be front and center of your business, because this is the people, the real people that are listening to you and wanting to buy whatever it is that you're offering them. And so that's when I realized support is a lot more important than what I think anybody ever originally thought it would be.
You're so right about that, because I know as a marketer, it tends to be more, and I know some other people, while they may not admit it, have this kind of like addiction of creating products for people and creating valuable solutions. But a lot of it comes, at least in my perspective, from conjecture. It's like, oh, well, I think this is something that people really want to buy. But from a customer service standpoint, like you said, they're the front lines. They're the people who are talking to your customers or your prospective customers day after day after day. And they're hearing all of their challenges and their struggles. And so what I really admire about what you did was how you were able to identify upsell opportunities. So tell us how that kind of works, and how do you kind of train your team in order to find out where those sales opportunities are?
It's really just about, just understanding like the language. You can have a customer who bought your product, but maybe they don't have everything they need. A previous employer that I worked with, they had the main product and then they had upsells. And I have customers writing in saying they need extra help. Well, extra help just translates to like they need more product. That sounds terrible sometimes to say, but what they wanted was available. They just needed to know that it was there. So I was able to say, hey, it sounds like you need some extra coaching. Let's get you on the phone with the coach, maybe try out the call. And then they'd buy. I mean, it was really quite simple to just notice the language that customers have, and then just kind of follow down that path. I mean, really all you have to do is engage with them and talk to them. And I think each customer base is different. It takes a little time to kind of work with that customer base and understand what they're saying, but then they all kind of follow the same patterns, and you just got to like figure out what those are. And so that's how I train my employees as well. Support, it's just a language, and you just got to get in there, jump in and talk to them. I think doing phone support is also really important, because talking with customers before they buy, during the buying process, and even after buying, I call them up and say, hey, you've been with us for a week. How are things going? And it was the best way to say, hey, like, this is a problem point. Everybody has the same question about this or that. And so what do? We just added another video. And so I have my employees engage, and then they just understand the communication that needs to happen. And it's really quite an easy process after that.
That actually brings up a really good question for me. So as you have this process of engaging people as they buy, what kind of impact do you see that from a refund challenge standpoint? Because I know that, that's one of the big bonuses of working with your business is you'll be able to cut down on refund rates for digital products. And so tell me how that works.
That was just kind of an amazing find that happened one day, and it just works across the board. One day we're just like, let's call customers after they sign up and see how they're doing. I think online products are amazing, but for some people, it's a little scary. I mean, they don't know internet. They're not maybe tech savvy. So it was just great to call them. And so what we did was I would call them about a week or so after they joined the program. And I said, hey, how are you doing? What questions do you have? Can I walk you through this? And our refund rate went from 15% down to 7%. It was actually much lower than that most of the time, but I think over the course of 6 months, it averaged out to be 7%. I mean, how much revenue did we just save by calling people and saying, hey, how can I help you make sure that your experience is, the best? And then it's also, I just left every phone call and said, hey, I just want you to know support is here. Write us anytime. We respond very quickly. Let's answer your questions. Don't be afraid to talk to us. And support was just the best thing. I mean, people stopped refunding after that, and they would engage in questions, and we would learn what was good and bad about the company. And that it works for anything. I have clients now where I just hop on the phone with the customers and say, hey, how things going? And they may rant and they may say they're upset, but that's the perfect time for me to say, well, why? Let's fix it. And then they walk away happy. And so I just reach out to them, and then what a great customer support service to have somebody just call you and ask how you're doing. And so it was just a great presence to have. And obviously the refund rate dropped significantly. It always does. It's kind of guaranteed to work. So it's pretty great.
Do you find doing these calls that it's like you're able to turn people who, like you said, could be, you know, super mad about something that you wouldn't have known about, or maybe they're just kind of, you know, average thinking about your product, into a raving fan? Like, how does customer support play in that?
A couple of, like, two examples. I had one gal, she was really frustrated because she signed up. It was kind of an expensive product. And then she kind of got hit with an upsell email, I think a day after she signed up. And she was kind of frustrated with that. She felt like she spent a lot of money and wasn't necessarily getting everything if they're already telling her that she should upgrade to, you know, this new product. And I just kind of walked her through and I said, hey, you don't need this product. It's for you to be there if you want it. But let me tell you what you do have. Let me walk you through everything and show you this vast world of, you know, information that you just bought into. And then she walked away and she was like, I had no idea. I didn't know I had access to all this stuff. And I said, you know, if you want this upsell, it's here. If you don't, that's okay. We can come back to it later. She called me 10 days later and upgraded, but she just wanted to feel calm, to know that she spent her money wisely. And so what I did, I just walked her through everything. I told her how everything worked, and I kind of gave her some success stories that we've had, and she was just super excited. You know, and she was kind of on the verge of wanting to possibly refund because she had spent, you know, so much money on this, and she was a little afraid that maybe she didn't have everything she needed. So totally walked her off the edge, you know, and she ended up being a raving fan and upgraded later. It was a really good strategy. And that's just one of hundreds of times that this has happened.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So tell me about, I know one of the books that I've read, Scaling Up, which I know you read as well. Vern Harnish talks about how if you want to create a successful business, if you want to create a scalable business, really the management of the company should be talking to customers on a weekly basis. And tell me how, like, managers and business owners can leverage customer support to do just that, because they are talking to people all the time.
Yeah. The first thing I think is you need to drive everyone to support. You need to drive them in the community, whatever you have, social media or actual community group. That's another form of support. Everybody needs to be communicating in there clearly. You need to have somebody there communicating with, you know, posts, your blog posts and everything like that. All of your content needs to be driven to support. And so we can get all those people talking to support. And I think it kind of just snowballs after that. Once people realize they can communicate with you via several different channels, whether it's phone, inbound support, community, anything, they will do it and they will start asking questions. And then it's just like a snowball effect. You start realizing what people want. What we did at a previous position was I realized people had some comments about our products, and what a great way to get the product manager involved. I said, hey, why don't you talk to them, because you're developing the product, and make that relationship, show the customers that we're listening to what they want and that you are directly building it from what they say. And that's what we did. And so we got them involved. Same thing. We got the CEO involved with sales, because who wants to buy from me when they can buy from the CEO? You know, of course they liked me too, but it's just the most important is everything needs to drive to support, whether it's community support or sales on the phone. It doesn't matter. If they're talking to a human being, whether it's phone or anything, I mean, they're gonna be engaged, and that's the most important thing. So getting into your emails, making sure that all of the funnels are leading to support is extremely important.
It sounds so much like it matches up with what I learned from Ryan Dice, where he talks about, if you want to grow a business, you have this growth team. And the growth team consists of your marketing, your sales, and your support. And they're very cyclical.
Yeah.
And so the support funnels a lot of the marketing and the content ideas directly to marketing, because that's one of the best ways to get, what's connecting with people, what's selling, what's not working. Are people getting too many emails? Because I know that was one of the things that you had brought up in one of our meetings. So cool. How do you think that support, like business owners and marketing managers, can leverage their customer support better to work more in conjunctions with marketing teams so that they can leverage their marketing, their content?
I think the first step that we've always do is we get the support team, at least, the managers in the marketing meetings, in the product meetings. It's really important. I think a lot of companies seem to like section these off. Like you have the marketing team, you have the product team, you have the support team. They have their own meetings, but are they really talking to each other? And it was very eye-opening to go into the marketing meeting and see what they're planning, and same with the product, is see what they're planning. And so I think you have to get them talking to each other, because I'm talking to all the customers, but then I'm not talking to the marketing team. So it just kind of gets cut off there. So it's important that we all kind of communicate and understand that support is the center of communication via our customers. So we need to say, hey, what are they saying over there? It's also, will you find out the bad things like broken links and things like that? So it's imperative for me to go over to tech and have a meeting with tech and say, hey, all of these links are broken, or, whatever it is that's happening. And so we have that communication going. And then once that's happening, again, it's just another snowball effect. You start realizing, that this is working, that you have a bunch of people saying this link is broken, so tech is fixing it. You have a bunch of people saying they're getting too many emails, so marketing is adjusting that. It's just a back and forth scenario that just opens up that communication that just helps everybody work together.
For sure. I find like it's so key. Like I've seen the companies that are growing particularly fast are doing just that. Like they're bringing a lot more collaboration and communication between the different pillars of the business.
Yep.
So speaking of pillars, I know there's kind of 3 pillars that your business focuses on. One is kind of, the inbound support opportunities that customer support can identify. The other is the ability to identify why people are refunding and challenging those and saving sales based on that. But the third pillar, which is also really interesting, and it's almost in a sense like free money, is collections and failed invoices. So I'd love for you to talk about that and how that's such an important part of people's business. I mean, it is hard-earned money that marketers have fought hard to generate those sales, but now they're losing out because of failed invoices. So tell me more about that, why it's important, and what your strategies are around that.
Yeah, it's extremely important. So of course, support, they're talking to customers, but what else are they doing? They're preventing refunds. So we had talked earlier about preventing the refund rate by doing kind of what we call like the outbound reaching out to customers. But people write into support, wanting a refund, and we can't prevent every single one, but we can prevent a lot of them by just talking to them and asking them why that's happening. A huge one is failed invoices. Who's following up with failed invoices? Well, support should be. They should be monitoring it. They should be getting on the phone that day a failed invoice happens and calling that person. Failed invoices don't generally occur because people don't want to pay. They don't know that their credit card expired, or they don't know that they didn't have enough. It could have been a million different reasons. And so it's very simple. Say, hey, your payment didn't go through. Let's get that corrected. And everybody's like, oh yeah, let's get that fixed, So, at a company, I was there for 2 weeks, and I made $4,000 in sales. And I saved, another 4,000 just in failed invoices. I was like, hey, who's calling these people? So I'm just reaching out and correcting those. You know, and then I did another $1,000 in a refund preventive where I just kind of talked that person off the ledge. I'd been there 2 weeks. I didn't know anything about what they were selling, but it was just right in front of my face. Like, this is what's happening. You know, a lot of the language is the same throughout companies. I can tell you that company did not pay me $10,000 for that 2 weeks. So of course I paid my bill already. And it's just so, I'm specialized in building these follow-up techniques for failed invoices, you know, watching them happen, having a system in place, following them out for however long the, you know, period of time, 30 days until we get that money. Of course, talking people off the ledge. I started in the apartment rental business. That was fun. So I kind of learned that language and how to kind of calm people down when they're upset. And, you know, so that's a big thing to have. And, you know, people don't think like, your terms and condition page. How important is that? That should be run by support. It should be updated all the time. It should be sound. And all of these things kind of wrap into support along with the communication to your customers. And that's how you turn it into a profit center.
That's so awesome. I mean, yeah. I think if anybody just implemented one of these strategies, they would see massive results in their revenue, massive direct impacts. That's so cool. It's so cool that you're able to take something that seems so kind of just like blah and mundane, and you know, like I see it. I know personally in the past I've seen customer support as something that's just like, you know, that's where all the complaints come from. I don't want to deal with it. I just, you know, it has to be done, though, to something where it's like, you know what, this is a major opportunity to help to provide massive values for our customers, and as you've explained, actually make money with customer support. So thanks for coming on. This has been phenomenal. Where can people find out more about what you do, the company that you're running, and how to work with you, and just get in touch with you if they have any questions? Sure.
Yeah. Right now my site is being built, but you can email me at any time. It's just Natalie@priorityexperts.com. And that would be the best place to reach me. Again, that's Natalie@priorityexperts.com. And then the website soon to come.
So thanks for watching that great interview with my friend Natalie. We've got some really great videos coming up in the next couple of weeks, all about, you know, how to make live events profitable, how to create viral content, how to create really great customer journeys for your clients. And then also a really great interview with a friend of mine that I did where he talked about how he got on stage at a TEDx event, as well as how to create engaging stories to really engage your audience and have them interact with you more and have them trust you more and build a deeper relationship with you. So looking forward to getting those out to you. If there's any of those that particularly interest you the most, I want to make sure I get those out there first. So comment down below as well with which one you are looking forward to, and we'll see you in the next video.